Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time I'm going to be doing a medium length set of nails. So of course, the first thing that I'm doing is going in and pushing back those cuticles, and this is going to just expose the new growth and help with reducing lifting, so you never want to skip this step. After that, we're going to go in with a 180 sanding band, and this is going to get rid of the shine from the natural nails. As you guys can see, our nail has a natural shine to it, and that's because our body produces a lot of oils. Those oils happen to be on our nail beds, which is what causes them to be shiny. So if we don't do this step and we just go to apply the acrylic right on top of the natural nail without prepping it, then the acrylic will literally lift within like that same day or a few days later. So again, this is a 180 sanding band. I'm using the Scarlet drill by Melody Susie, and I'm using it at 5,000 RPMs. Remember that as a beginner, you want to make sure that you use your drill at whatever speed you feel comfortable using it at, and then after you use it for a while, you're going to get more comfortable. You're going to be able to speed it up as you go, but just because I use it at this speed does not mean that you have to use it at that speed as well. But now after we finish prepping the nail, we're going to go in and apply the nail tips. So remember that your nail tips usually come in a number 0 through a number 9, 0 being your biggest nail tip and number 9 being your smallest nail tip. And when you're applying them, you want to make sure that your nail tip fits exactly from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want the nail tip hanging off the side of the nail, and you also don't want to have to like literally force the nail down, because then once you glue it down and like you leave it on there, the nail is going to want to come back up because it's so small, and eventually it's going to break off or lift. So again, make sure that the nail tips fit exactly from sidewall to sidewall, and then you just apply the nail glue right on the edge and just place it on the nail, hold it down for a few seconds, and that's it. And then as you can see, as I always tell you guys, if one tip is too small and the other one's too big, just go in with the one that's a little bit bigger and just file the size down just a tiny bit, just enough to make it fit perfectly like you're seeing me do here. And then after that, you size it again and then apply the glue and place the nail down. So we're going to go ahead and finish applying the nail tips on this hand, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alrighty, so after we finish applying the nail tips, we're going to go in and trim all of the nails down to her desired length. And we're just going to do that for all of the nails. And honestly, with me being able, or me, since I've been doing nails for a while, I'm able to just look at the nails and kind of guesstimate the length on all of them. But then of course, I'll still go in and measure each nail against, or each finger against each other, to make sure that the nails are all the correct size. And if one's too long or something, I go back in and cut it down just a little bit. Now I'm going in with a straight edge nail clipper. Again, this is a straight edge nail clipper, which means the top of the nail clipper is straight. You don't want the curved kind because you're going to mess up your shape. And I'm just trimming down the sides of the nails, basically cutting the nail into a coffin shape. That way, whenever we go in to shape the nails, we're not going to do so much filing. So it's going to save us a little bit of time. And then also it's going to save some of that work off our hands, because you want to make sure that you always take care of yourself. That's something that I'm starting to learn, you know, not to overwork myself, because I've been hurting so bad. So again, make sure that you take care of yourself. But now we're going in and reshape the nail, and not reshaping, but shaping the nails. But again, since we already cut them into a coffin shape, we're basically perfecting the shape. So going in on the sides at a 90 90-degree angle with the 100 nail file and going right from the side wall towards the free edge, just following but going back and forth from each side, making sure that you don't overfile on either side because you don't want the nail to be crooked. And then after that, we file the free edge at exactly a 90-degree angle, going or using the file vertically. And I feel like when you do it vertically instead of horizontally, like you get the free edge like super straight. But as always, make sure that when you're doing this, you are watching your shape because you're going to be able to see your shape change as you file, and you don't want to overfile because you can easily do that, and then your nail will either be, you could file it down to where you're cutting down the length, or you could file too much on either side to where it would make the nail crooked. So make sure that again you pay attention to what you're doing, that way that doesn't happen to you. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other hand, and then I will be right back. Alrighty, so after we finish shaping up the nails, we're going to go in with the acrylic, and I'm using the JC Beauty Concepts clear acrylic as well as the monomer, and I'm going in with the primer, applying that on all of the nails, just on a natural nail, and this is going to help the acrylic adhere better to the natural nail. And then again, that is the JC Beauty Concepts clear acrylic. As you guys know, I've been using it a lot and I am absolutely loving it because it's so much easier to work with. I'm able to build the nail a lot faster, so it's cutting down my work time. But as you can see, I applied the first bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets, making sure that I brush it down really gently. After that, I'm going to apply the second bead right below that one, same thing, brushing it down towards the tip, wiping my sides down, that way the acrylic does not take away from my shape. And then the third bead, I'm going to apply closer to the cuticle area, placing it down, patting it down, and then brushing it down towards the tip. Remember that when you're doing this, the key is to being really gentle whenever you are brushing the acrylic down, because you don't want to brush it all the way down towards, like, you want to brush it down towards the tip, but not all of it. You're basically just blending it in whenever you brush it down. So be really gentle. And then the fourth bead, I'm just going to apply it right closer to the cuticle area, and this is what's going to build our apex. Also remember that when you're doing this, you clean around the cuticle area. That way you don't get any product on the skin, because then you will get lifting. That's what the nail looks like from the side. So again, this is a medium length nail set. So even then, you want to make sure that again, you look for your apex and a nice thickness at your tip. And then once you see that, you move on to the next nail. But for the most part, I'm doing the 4-ball method. But y'all, like, this acrylic again is so easy to work with. It dries a little bit faster, so I'm not having to apply so much acrylic, because with it drying a little bit faster, it's like it's not as liquidy, so it's, it doesn't go on super thin. It goes on a little bit thicker, I could say, so it builds the nail a lot faster. So definitely recommend it. Again, this is JC Beauty Concepts. My promo code is GetNail32, and I'll leave all of that information down below. And then as always, I'm using my alpha brush in a number 10, and I'll leave that link down below as well. But we're gonna go ahead and finish doing this on all of the nails, just doing it clear on all of them, because the what we're gonna do is gonna be just polish. But remember that focus on making sure that you have a nice apex, making sure that if you get any product on the skin that you wipe it off immediately, that you brush the acrylic down really gently, and then that you also clean or wipe the sides off as you're going. That way the acrylic does not take away from your shape. Alrighty, so we're finishing up this last nail, and again, this is the JC Beauty Concepts Clear Acrylic, and here is a side angle. As you can see, they are definitely flawless. This is before I do any filing, right after I applied the acrylic, and y'all, like, look at that apex. It just looks so perfect. But anyways, now we're gonna go in and reshape the nails. So same thing as the first time, we just go in and file the sides and the free edge at exactly a 90-degree angle. And of course, this time it's a lot faster because we're not having to do so much filing. We're literally just going in and reshaping or perfecting the shape, whatever you want to call it. But you want to make sure that you never skip this step, because if not, you're not going to have that perfect because if not, you're not gonna have that perfect shape. Sorry y'all, like my mind is all over the place. But yeah, so make sure that you always go in and reshape your nails. That way you have a really nice shape, because your shape will literally make or break your set. And then as you can see, after I finish filing the nails, I kind of stop for a bit and just look at the nails to make sure that they all look good. And then if I need to go in and fix anything, I do so as needed. But that's one thing that you want to make sure that you always do, because again, your shape will make or break your nails. And before probably even just a year ago, like I can tell a big difference between my shape, because I started paying more attention to what I was doing, the angle at which I was holding my file when I was falling, and it definitely made a huge difference that a lot of people always compliment my shape now. So definitely really proud of that. But again, just make sure that you watch the angle in which you're filing or holding your file as you're working, which for this shape, it's a 90-degree angle on the sides and the free edge. But now we're going in with the ceramic drill bit, and this one you can find on Amazon. And for this part, I'm using my drill at 10,000 RPMs. So of course, just filing around the cuticle area first, going from the right side all the way over to the left side, just going back and forth until you're able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way you know that the acrylic is not on the skin. And then of course, filing the rest of the nail to make sure that it's nice and smooth. So we're gonna do that on all of the nails. And as always, like I always tell you in all of my videos, make sure that you spend a little bit more time around the cuticle area, because trust me y'all, when I first started doing nails, I feel like I was doing this part correctly. I feel like I was doing everything correctly, but I was still getting lifting. But it was because I was not sealing the acrylic around the cuticle area like you should. You don't want any gaps in between the natural nail and the acrylic, because any moisture, any lotion, any oil from your hair, anything that gets trapped underneath your nail or underneath the acrylic is going to cause the nail to lift. So make sure that again you spend a little bit more time when you're doing this part. And the way that I know if I've sealed the nail correctly is until I'm able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. And I don't mean there has to be like a super huge gap, just enough to where you're literally able to distinguish again those three things. But again, I'm using the fine ceramic drill bit. I like this one because I feel like it's not as sharp. So definitely if you're a beginner, you're scared that you're gonna cut someone, so using this one, you're gonna feel a little bit more comfortable. And then as always, just because I use my drill at 10,000 RPMs don't mean that you have to use it at this speed. Just use it at whatever speed you feel comfortable using it at, and that's completely fine. And then as you use them more and more, you're going to get a lot more comfortable, and you're going to be able to speed it up, a little by little as you start to get used to it. But I'm going to finish filing all of the nails, and then we're going to move on to the buffing part. Alrighty, so now I'm going in with the buffer, and as you can see, it is a different color buffer, but it's literally the same grid and everything. I just ran out of the orange ones, but I'm just going in and buffing the nails like usual, making sure that we get rid of any of the scratches left on the nail bed on the nail from the hand file or the e-file. And as always, I run my thumb over the top of each nail to make sure that it's nice and smooth. And if it still feels a little bit rough, then I go in and buff a little bit more, because if you don't, you will be able to see every little scratch through your polish. So just make sure that, again, you check each nail before you move on to the next one. Alrighty, so after we finish dusting the nails off and wiping them off, I'm going in with this pink gel polish by Madam Glam in the color sweetest of all. As always, I do have a promo code from Madam Glam, so I'll be sure to leave that down below for you guys. And then for the ring finger, I'm gonna go in with a glitter gel polish, also by Madam Glam, and that one is in the color Let Jazz, and I'll be sure to show you the names, you know, in a bit. But we're gonna do that on all of the nails. Again, the ring finger is gonna be the glitter one, and of course we're gonna go in and do 2 coats of each color. Okay, so after we do the 2 coats of each color, I'm going in with the foil glue by MAKARTT. I also have a promo code for them, so I'll be sure to leave that information down below. But once I apply the foil glue, this one does have to be cured, so I cure for 60 seconds. But again, I use Let's Jazz, which is the color on the ring fingers, and then sweetest of all was the pink gel polish. So now that the gel polish is, or sorry, that the foil glue is dry, I'm going in with this butterfly foil, just placing it on the nail, rubbing it down, and then taking it off. And as you can see, it leaves the really pretty butterflies on there. I'm gonna add one more here on the side, and then as you can see, the whole butterfly did not stick down. So what I'm gonna do is get my little brush, wipe it off, and then I'm gonna go in and I think, let's see, I'm gonna just try again with another butterfly. And usually the nail should still be a little bit sticky, so it should work, you know, just fine. So after this, we're gonna go in and do the Madam Glam gel top coat, and then we decided to apply some bling. So you will see me go in with the ZULAY nail adhesive, and then with my wax pencil, my AB SS6 and SS12 bling, and we're gonna apply that on a few nails. Again, that's the ZULAY nail adhesive. You can find her on Instagram to place your order. Alrighty, so we did the top coat on that one. Now we're going to do the same thing on this other hand. So same thing, just placing the foil down, rubbing it down with the tip of your finger, making sure that it goes on really good with no creases, and then just peeling the foil back, and then you have some really nice butterflies. And then of course we're going to go in and apply some bling on these as well. And then after that, we're going to spray them with the hurry up spray, which is going to help that glue dry a lot faster. And then we're going to place some under the light once we apply the Madam Glam gel top coat, and we're going to cure for 60 seconds. Alrighty, y'all, so here is the final look. They turned out so pretty. Those butterflies look so good. That pink and that glitter just looks so good together. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetNail32, and I will see you guys next time.